Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our movie club. Today we will discuss a boring movie which called Two Popes. Popes, is it right?
Yeah, two popes.
Two popes, okay. So why they call him Papa and Pope? Or is it the same, Teddy?
Well, Papa is daddy.
Okay, so it's not.
It's not the same, no.
Okay. Because I often hear like Papa to a guy in church for Catholic church, maybe
in Spanish.
Okay.
The same word.
Okay, so
Papi.
yeah.
That's like a short version. Where did you hear that?
Latinas.
Okay, so it's a movie about what? About Catholic Church and two popes, and it's pretty long, and it's all about dialogues, and there are like two main characters. Let's start with them. Sergey, who are those characters? Do you remember?
Yes, I remember two popes. It's Benedict something and Francis something. I don't know. I don't
I'm
remember.
the same, and I'm a Catholic.
Precise enough, I would say.
Benedict something.
Okay, and
Yeah, Benedict was a German pope, and Francis is Argentinian pope.
Argentina.
Argentinian.
Yeah. And during this movie, we notice their conversation about Christ, about religion, about new way for Catholic Church, about changes, about problems.
Yeah, but let's start. Let's follow the story a bit. Not with all the details, but something. Vasans, please, could you start with the story?
Yes, the story starts from where the Pope John Paul dies. Then the Catholics were forced to elect the new Pope, and there were some traditional election process among the
Cardinals.
Cardinals and bishops. So there was a heavy competition between Francis and Benedict, and finally, on a close margin,
By a close margin,
Pope Benedict won by doing some little tactic. He tried to show his giving
generosity.
Yes, generosity. He exposed something like that. He doesn't want that position.
Oh, humility, maybe.
Humility. Yeah.
Humility.
Humility.
Yes.
Okay. So, Gerard, could you tell us more about this election process? How it works? For cardinals, for popes.
Yeah, it's called conclave.
The papal conclave.
Papal conclave. And there is firewood, and when they try to choose one pope, and when there is black smoke, it means that they didn't reach an agreement, and when it's white, they did an agreement. They have a new pope.
Yeah, so people in Vatican, they stay on this square, I forgot the name for the square, and they waiting for fumes, right? So white,
yeah.
Smoke.
For smoke. What is the difference between fumes and smoke?
Well, fumes can be invisible. Fumes can be of any chemical. Fumes come off petrol or diesel, but smoke is visible from a fire.
Okay. When I smoke a cigarette, it's usually a smoke, right?
You blow out white smoke.
Yeah, and fumes, it can be like, something bad, some catastrophe on chemical factory, and we got fumes, right?
Fumes come off chemicals.
Okay.
You could see that in the air from petrol. Petrol is a good example.
Mm-hmm. Gerard, and speaking about this election, so this election, it should be, what's the word for this? Unanimous, so everyone should...
Anonymous.
It means that everyone choosing the one guy, right?
One cardinal.
Oh, well, that's a majority.
Majority, yeah. Did you see the vault with the names?
Yeah.
So The cardinals are the ones that are electable. Is electable the right word?
No, electable. Yeah, okay, electable. Electable means is able to, easy to elect.
Who is running for Pope? So I don't understand. So how they
They are in the
start-
running, maybe. They're or available, or go on.
Yeah, but-
I'll think of a
but
better word.
Who choose? Who choose the candidate?
The ones that are cardinals, the ones that can be a pope.
Yeah, and they put themselves forward as candidates.
Okay. And then other cardinals, they vote for those who must it be 2 guys or 3 guys or 5 or who knows?
I think they don't put themselves as a candidate because
No?
Bergoglio he didn't think that would be elected. He had the first time after the death of John Paul II in 2005. He was the second after Ratzinger.
Okay. Vasans, please.
I hear that in my childhood that many years ago, the traditional way of conveying the smoke is using straws, the leftovers of paddy. So they use the papers with the raw straw, and it gives you one kind of smoke. And if it's not, then they use the same papers with the voting papers with the wet straw. So it gives you another one. So either of them gives a white smoke and the another one gives the black smoke. So that's how they used to deliver the message. But nowadays in this movie, we can see something different. They use a little chamber with like a fire.
Yeah, some chemicals,
Yeah,
right?
chemical. Yeah.
So they are pretty modern in Vatican. Have you noticed they use helicopters and this fitness what's the name of this fitness strap? I don't know, bracelet,
Band.
band. Okay. Okay, so they are very progressive. Okay, but speaking about election, so we don't know how they are. What's the word for this? Put forward? But yes.
How they are put forward, or I can't think of a good word right now. Sorry.
Okay. So and then the rest of the cardinals they vote, I guess, once, and I guess is it like we have two types of election, right? When you like show your name and when you hide it, right? Secret vote and
Secret ballot. BALLOT.
secret ballot and
Yeah,
open
ballot is the piece of paper you write your choice on.
and in opposite it will be
Open ballot.
Open ballot. So it's a. Do you know, Gerard? Is it a secret ballot?
Secret ballot, yeah, of course.
Okay, and after they, I guess they burn all these ballots, right? So why?
They burn all the ballots.
Yes. Why? Why it's
Just the ancient tradition, probably.
yeah, but it's hard.
I think they vote several times. The first time is to see which candidates have more votes. So the cardinals can choose one of the ones that are in front. How do you say in the first positions?
It's a favorite. He's
The favorite.
favorite.
Yes.
Okay. Someone calling. Okay, and then they start election again and again until they got the right one. So do you know the history, Gerard? Was it sometimes, somewhere in history that they could not go to agreement for a long time? Or it's always like takes 1 day or 2 hours?
I imagine they need a majority, a simple majority. So more than 50% people voting the same person. So if the cardinals vote several people, many people, different people, they don't reach enough agreement.
Yeah, and so, but speaking about history, there were a lot of elections, right, of Pope in the past. So is it always fast, takes like 1 day to find a new Pope? Or sometimes it takes a week? Or
I remember the news at the time saying that this was a historically long process. So it hadn't happened too often.
Okay. And people staying on the square, they wait.
Yeah. Lots of people travel from Ireland and from Spain, Portugal, religious Catholic countries to visit.
Okay, okay. So we finished up. It's an election. So the old pope got died, right? And we choosing Benedict.
The Polish Pope died.
Polish pope. Okay. And and Catholics are going to choose a German one, right?
Yeah.
An old one, an old.
And old one.
And a member of the Hitler Youth.
Yeah. And conservative.
Very conservative.
Okay. Sergey, could you please describe him more, or we can go with the story if you want?
After election,
Yeah, let's say we finished with the election. So what could you say about this German pope? What was his name? Benedict?
Ratzinger. Oh, Benedict was his.
Yes, I don't remember the name of Ratzinger, but he's Ratzinger, and after nomination and after won in this election, and
After winning.
After winning, the majority of cardinals put the new name for new pope. I don't understand how it works. I don't know. Maybe they have special
Special order
for names. Yeah, maybe they are known the next name of pope.
We just tried to figure it out. And our version, working version is that they just vote many times. They start vote for random names, and then they see who is a favorite, and then they choose between 2 or 3 favorites. It's our guess.
With a lot of lobbying. I
Yeah.
can imagine a lot of lobbying.
Lobbying.
Lobbying. Can someone explain lobbying?
Yeah. Do you know who is a lobbyist? I give you money. You go to politics.
I thought about it. I didn't understand from this movie about the nomination of participant of the election of Pope. But I don't
we don't know
why,
either.
Actually, I cannot answer a question. What kind of power has this Pope? So if you lobby for something, you should get something back, right? I don't understand what I can get back from a Pope, from Catholic Pope.
The Vatican Bank is very important, very powerful. It's in league with the CIA and has been for years. The Vatican has supported every right-wing dictatorship since the beginning, since Mussolini, Franco, Hitler, and a lot of other guys whose names I don't remember.
Okay.
From Croatia, for example.
Okay, so they're just rich, right? And control some guys in different countries.
They have a lot of influence in South America, for example.
Okay.
And in Spain, right, Jared?
Yes, of course.
But there are a lot of Opus Dei members in Spanish politics and business.
Yeah, they are far right.
Far right.
Okay, let's go with the story. So we got a new pope, a German one, right? Very conservative, very with some what's the name of the stain in his.
Very dark. He had stains on his reputation.
Stains. So, but people choose him for a reason, right?
Chose.
People chose him for a reason. So I don't know those reasons, but maybe he's better than others. For instance,
he was a better cardinal than the rest.
Yes.
He was better at lobbying himself.
Lobbying himself, better in communication, in public relations. And you before the class, you told me about CNN, right?
Yeah, I saw a news article before he resigned or abdicated, saying that the Vatican had hired a Fox News reporter as a public relations officer for the Vatican. And then 2 months later, there was a new pope. I said, that's a coincidence. A PC pope, gay friendly.
Okay, let's go with the story. So we will have a chance to meet this PC Pope, right? Vasans, please, could you tell us the story?
Yeah, and Pope, what's the name of the second one?
Francis.
Yeah, Francis. So Francis is approaching the elected Pope about his resign and resignation for a long time. He sent a lot of letters to him, but he got no replies. Then he personally decided to visit him in person, and he moved. He booked a flight ticket and moved to Rome, I think. And that's where he met the Pope, and he had a conversation with him about why he wanted to retire and what is wrong with the current system, the Catholic system. So that was very thoughtful, and the Pope still tries to defend what he stands for, but all the points given by Francis are valid and has to be addressed till now. So, yeah, that was a very thoughtful conversation, and for a very long time he denies the resignation. He holds him back. How to say that? He
returned.
He refused to resign.
Okay.
refused to resign.
But why he didn't just sign the letter? What makes him to keep this exact Pope, this exact cardinal on serve? I don't know how is it on serving. how we say
place.
In place, yeah. So why? Jart, do you understand?
Yeah, of course. Because Ratzinger or the Benedict the 16th wants a successor. He knows that Bergoglio, that's the name of Jorge Mario Bergoglio, the name of Francis later, is a liberal compared to him. He's a liberal. He doesn't agree about many things, but I think the Pope thinks that the church needs some changes, because the movie doesn't say, but he had a problem. There was a pedophile thing.
Pedophile scandal from the past.
And the Pope supported a guy, so hid him from.
He hid him.
He hid him and put another parish, and he abused children. This guy abused the children, so all the same. So that's a very black stain. He wanted
and there was documentation, there was proof with his signature about protecting pedophile priests. Very nasty.
Very nasty.
Yeah.
So the Pope wanted Bergoglio being his successor, to be his successor, and the Pope told him that he wanted to resign, and then he did so after 1 year after this meeting.
So he intentionally choose what's the name? Successor, right?
He chose his successor.
And he looks like doesn't care about this election process and everything, so it will be fine, right? He just knows that cardinals will elect, chosen Pope. Am I right?
I bet. I think if the Pope, who is conservative, wants this guy to be the Pope, he can convince many people, besides the ones that are already liberal, would vote, Bergoglio all the same.
We'll get in line.
Okay, get in line. Sergey, could you please show us the difference, between conservative popes and, liberal one? How they differ? What is the difference?
If I understood correctly, they in conversation, they discuss about gays wedding. They discuss about problem with pedophilia in the church, in the Catholic Church. They discuss about banks of Vatican.
The Vatican Bank. They discussed the Vatican Bank without a doubt. They discussed pedophilia.
Yeah, and they discussed about
No,
behavior
drop,
of
Sergey. Drop about.
Drop about.
Yeah.
They talked
discussed,
about.
They discussed something. They discussed bank. They discussed their friends.
Or talk about. They talked
talk
about. Yeah. But not discuss about.
Yeah. They talk about Vatican Bank. They talk about the behavior of Pope. Ratzinger asked Bergoglio about his behavior. Why a lot of people likes Bergoglio? Bergoglio answered that I behave like me, but I can't explain in English.
Well,
He
like I'm genuine, I'm who I am.
Authentic.
yeah. I'm who naturally.
I am myself.
Yeah, I'm myself, and Ratzinger told that I think that it's not true way, and we have to behave how to like our Christ. It's maybe
by protocol, right? By church protocol.
Yeah,
so we should dress this way. We should speak this way. We should behave this way.
And the main reason of if we talk about not only differently between Bergoglio and Ratzinger, Ratzinger told that I am tired of Pope job, and I don't hear the good, and I don't know why, but
I don't hear God. I can't hear God.
Yeah.
Neither can I.
Leila, we don't ask you anything because please interrupt us.
No, I'm listening to you. Don't worry about me.
But I know that you have insights from Rome, so please tell us how people in Rome like this Vatican things and.
I'm just trying to understand. When I go there, I watch people. Usually, they don't like it. They don't like him because they're thinking that he's too conservative.
Sorry?
The new pope.
But the new pope is liberal. Pope Francis.
No, you think that. But what they think, because they live there.
Okay.
I don't ask any questions because it's their country. I could feel respect for everybody. But what I have understood that they don't feel happy.
Well, imagine you had a separate state in Moscow, because the Vatican is an independent state.
Yep.
It's an independent nation. Imagine you had let's say another religion, just to make it a good comparison, a different sect with a nation in your city, in your capital city. It's very strange.
We have it not in our city, but in Russia in general. We have Muslim regions. For instance, Kazan. Then that's like
Kazakhstan.
yes, Kazan.
Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Chechen.
Chechen Republic, but it
Chechnya.
was in past. Yeah, so we had problem with them. Now it's okay. But in general, I can understand. So but it's it's long in Russia for 100 years. So we always used to live together, door to door.
Yes, that's another conversation I would like to have. And there has been a rise in fanaticism and fundamentalism since 9/11.
It's a different thing. We got this, and it's one of the reasons of this Chechen war. But this fanatism, it's went outside. It's went from
from the Yugoslavia and Afghanistan, the first Afghanistan war.
Yeah. So it was not like internal thing. It was like a war inside, but by because of external reasons.
Yeah, Americans stirring the shit, right? Americans were training Mujahideen, and they were training Islamic
everyone,
in Bosnia. in Bosnia and those
It was,
countries to
in
fight in Afghanistan.
in Pakistan, in everywhere, you know. So it's always like this. Yeah. So, but I can understand that Vatican is like
The Vatican. It's always the.
okay. The Vatican is a different structure inside Rome, right? And people can be annoyed by some reason or irritated. I don't know how. But as well, I'm not a Catholic. I know very few things about this. But I know that Vatican doesn't belong only to Italy, right? It's for this. It's like a structure for Spain, for the whole Catholic world, right? For Ireland and so on.
Ivan, can I say something?
Of course.
The last time when I was in Rome, people were talking about the priests, how can I say, taking the money given for religious reasons to the cathedral or to the Vatican, and they were spending the money on their own. So people are talking like this in Rome. I think they lose their confidence. I'm not sure.
So how we call this money? Charity or donations?
Donations.
No. Okay.
So, as Terry said before, there is the Vatican Bank or something like that. I'm not sure because I haven't been there because
notorious, the Vatican Bank.
Yeah. So the Italian people are thinking that the priests are spending the money.
The mafia launder a lot of money through the Vatican Bank.
Yeah.
Well-known fact.
Okay. I can understand this one, you know, because usually it's the same as in Russia. Church has a special tax. What?
Yeah, a tax exemption.
Tax exemption.
The church.
Yeah,
again,
so
that's the church.
The church. Yeah. So in dark times, church in Russia, the church in Russia was blaming that they import some products from and sell that in Russia without taxation or something like this. So you know they know how to make money, I guess. In the whole world, not only in Vatican.
Yeah, the whole world.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the story. So let's speak a bit about these characters, about this Argentinian guy. So about his past something. Vasans, do you remember something?
Yes, I think he wanted to be a priest in his childhood, but his grandmother didn't give him an answer. I think. Then he forgot that, and as usual, as well as the other humans, he fell in love.
Like everybody else.
Just like everybody else. Yeah. And he had a future, but at the very point of proposing the girl, he got a chance to meet a priest by chance, and he went into the church and he confessed.
Priesthood. He went to, excuse me.
Yeah, then he confessed. Then he somehow, the priest gave him a message that what if this moment is the chance that he was seeking for all of his life from the God, so the signal from the God to become a priest. Yeah, from God to become a priest and to serve the people, to serve the religion also. Then he decided to become a priest, and he went back to his girlfriend and said the truth. She
told the truth.
Yeah, he told the truth. Then she went away. How to say that? Broke up. They broke up.
They broke up.
Yes, they broke up. Then he became a priest. No, he became a priest along with his brother. There was another story with his brother also.
Okay, let me ask something more. You know, in the movie, I heard that he was like from different branch of Catholicism.
The Jesuits.
Jesuit. Okay.
After Jesus. After Jesus. The order of Jesus.
So
it was set up by a Basque man.
Yeah, San Ignacio de Loyola.
There you go.
Okay. What is the difference? What is the difference between these branches?
There are many branches. I think they are called congregations. Jesuits, Salesians, and different names.
Okay, but
Yes.
for Catholics, it's not a problem, right? They choose.
No, it's
They
inside
can choose.
it's inside the Catholicism, so it's not splitting up anything.
No.
Okay.
The Jesuits are famous for being teachers,
Hmm.
for teaching the children of all our countries.
Okay, I can see some sarcasm.
The Jesuits were also famous in South America as liberals, anti-capitalist priests. A lot of them died, were assassinated.
Missionaries, a lot of missionaries.
Okay, I see. It's kind of against my, my history in Russian church. Should I say the Russian church?
The Russian church, I was going to say.
Yes. So the Russian church, they have many branches, but every time for new branch they are heretics. They don't recognize each other, they don't communicate. It's all divided.
I heard that the Jesuits were a reaction to the Reformation.
Okay. Yeah.
And the rise in popularity of Protestantism.
Okay. Masans, please.
Yes, I liked the dialogues very much, especially when he broke up with her and when moved into the priesthood. Okay, priesthood. Then one priest said to him that, okay, I will show you how to love her in another way, something like that. So that was a good one to convince everyone.
I saw some news they are considering allowing priests to marry.
It was a part of dialogue in this movie. Dialogue in this movie. So the new pope asked the old one, why we have this celebrate? For what reason? For what reason? So things are changing.
That's the reason why. Money.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, most of the how to say that. The accusations of priests, how to say, mostly came from the Catholic and who are bachelors, who don't get married,
Bachelors, okay, single men.
Single men. So but it does not come more often from the Protestant, I think, because they have families, so they do not get involved into this kind of how do you call that? I forgot the word. Something people always talk about, something like that.
Allegations. No?
Allegations. No.
Well,
what are you talking about?
No, the people always, there is something wrong happened, and people always talk about it.
A rumor.
Rumors, yeah.
Gossip.
Gossip. Okay, but no, it starts with C. The letter C.
With C.
Yeah.
Okay.
C, yeah.
Let it be a homework for us. Okay, Sergey, tell us, what do you know about Argentina and this dictatorship regime and everything?
Yes, I heard about military junta in Argentina earlier in the school and in the university, and it was not interesting for me because I know that the South America has a lot of military juntas in different countries. But the interesting moment for me that Argentina has a lot of problem with England during this time, and after this movie, and I heard the opinion of Leila about the boring movie, but for me it was interesting because before this movie I didn't think and I didn't know about military junta in Argentina, and now it is interesting for me because I don't understand the causes of change of political in Argentina. Why the people killed a lot of other people inside Argentina? Because we had the similar problem in our history when we had the revolution with Vladimir Lenin. Yes, and interesting for me the role of Catholical Church during this war.
During this, you mean dictatorship? Yeah.
Yeah.
Regime change, backed
Yeah.
by the US, like every military junta in South America.
Yeah. Operation Condor.
Operation Condor.
Yes.
But correct me if I'm wrong. As Sergey mentioned, in Russia we learn history of South America very bad. We know almost nothing. So because it's like far away and it's not interesting for us. But what I heard that Argentina was one of the country who got a lot of these Nazi guys from Germany after World War II.
Yeah. I know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a part of the money, capital banks and industry and technology and something. But it's almost all what I know, about this. So I don't know how dictatorship was set, can we say was set, and how it was liberated.
How it came to power.
How it
Yes,
came
and,
to
Like
yes,
in
and
Chile.
we remember about Evita and the football.
Maradona.
Maradona, yeah.
And the war with the UK, the Falklands War, the Maldivas.
But if you ask me, tell something about Argentina, what could I say? I say steaks, right?
Maradona.
Not. Tango football.
The hand of God, yeah. Great moment in my childhood. Fuck England.
Okay, so what was the role of this, Benedict, Francisc during this dark time of Argentina? Gerard.
He survived.
He supported the military, the junta.
He gave up his brothers.
Yes, gave up his brother Jesuits. So at the end of the dictatorship, the Jesuits banished him from the order.
From the order.
Oh, I don't know this word. Banish? What does it mean?
Banish.
Out. Get out. Don't come back.
Okay.
Banish with a B. No.
Yeah. You don't have to say that in English. That's only in Spanish. You have to say banish with a B. Because it would be vanish with a V. And it's vanish means disappear.
Yeah, we lost in Spanish we disappear. This difference between B and V.
Yeah. So Terry and Gerard, guys, if you don't know, mention the fact that in Spanish, V and B is very similar sounds. That sometimes you have to give more information. So it's V, vaca or B, burro. Something like this. So you don't name one letter, you name the word. Yeah. Okay.
And they complain about that. It's difficult to spell in Spanish because of that. But as you know, in English, it's much more difficult to spell words.
Okay, so how this Pope, how he became, he supported military, all these things, he grown up in Argentina, how he became to be liberal? What do you think?
How did he become?
How
did he make it to Pope?
Yeah, how he did.
How did he?
How did he become
a
liberal one? Yeah. So I didn't expect this.
Quite easy. He connected with the people, with regular people.
He listened to the suggestions of the PR, the Fox PR guy.
Okay.
He was relatable, is it right?
He's easy to relate to.
Yeah.
Can you
say there is a word like down to ground or something?
Down to earth.
Down to earth. Can we say this in this context? So we can see that
people perceived him.
Yeah, we can see that in the movie, that he was very open-minded. He went to just, pizza on the street. He speak to people. He went by, tram, not by helicopter. So he close to people. He's listening to you.
A man of the people.
Sorry? What?
A man of the people.
A man of the people. Okay. Okay, and opposite, previous Pope, like Benedict, he was closed in his room. He eat alone. He watching his TV, old German series.
The one about the
Son
dog,
Rex.
Rex.
Yeah.
The German Shepherd.
Do you think it's a kind of true or it's made for for the movie? So made up.
No, it's a fact. The
I
Pope.
would say it's true.
It's true.
Okay. So they're literally like water and fire, right? So much different.
What do we say? Chalk and cheese?
Chalk and cheese.
Apples and oranges, they say in America. I say chalk and cheese.
What is chalk? Like chocolate?
Chalk is for writing on a blackboard. White it's
okay.
stone.
Chalk.
Chalk. Okay.
Two different things, chalk and cheese.
Yeah, you cannot compare them, right?
No.
They're very different. And continued what Sergey said. For me, this movie was not boring as well. So I watched it. I enjoyed dialogues. I enjoyed actors playing. I enjoyed the story itself. It was a new story to me, completely new. So it was interesting. Yeah. So, but to retell the story is kind of hard because it's mostly about dialogues, right? We cannot retell all these dialogues. But maybe, guys, you have something to share about this. Maybe something you like about movie. Please go.
I would have liked to see an honest, open account or recounting of a lot of the dark history of the Vatican and the Vatican Bank in the last 40 years.
I know one very dark thing, The Pope John Paul II was a very conservative pope. But before him, there was a pope.
John Paul I.
The only last 33 days.
Mm-hmm.
3 days.
Was murdered.
He was
Murdered.
Yeah, probably murdered because he was too liberal.
Because he was looking into the books of the Vatican Bank and he noticed a lot of irregularities.
Mm-hmm.
The mafia? What? The CIA? What?
What's that?
What's it? Yeah. So he was taken out.
Sounds, please.
Yes, initially, I'm not familiar with the Pope and other things, but what I sensed while I was watching this movie was what could be the purpose of this movie? Then why now? Or what is the need of telling
good question. Yeah, good question. So let me add a bit to your question. How I what's the word for this? How I ran into this movie. So it was a coincidence. I was in Vatican, and there is a big advertisement of this movie just in Vatican. So I was surprised. I expected that Vatican will be against any movies about the church. It was happening in Russia. They live like apart from this secular life. So, but I was interested. So it's a movie like in my mind proved by Vatican, recommended by Vatican. So that's why I wanted to watch it. Yeah. So guys, what do you think? Why now? Why it's proved by Vatican? Is it like just a good PR move for Vatican or something?
In my opinion, definitely.
Definitely. So they just move. PR move. Okay.
Look at the link I sent. I sent you a link.
Fox News. Okay.
Look at the dates. Look at the date of the article. Look at the date where Ratzinger resigned.
So it's all connected, right?
It's all connected.
Yeah. It reminded me of the famous joke that how do you shorter the line, then draw the bigger one next to that. So something like that. If you want to tell something good about the current pope, then add the previous one and show him as a conservative. Then show him, then you will feel better about the current pope. Something like that. Maybe it could be.
I added a link. I added a link to a book that I read about the Vatican, the CIA, and the mafia.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting book.
Yeah, but answering Vasan's, we have the same story with presidents. To make a new president better, they put all the things to the former one.
They blame him.
Blame him. Yeah, this one was bad. I am a good one. Now it's not my fault. It's because of him. So it's always happened. 100%. Okay, we have a few questions on our Padlet. Let's answer them. So first one: is being a pope a blessing or a curse? course.
For whom?
For him. For him, what do you think? If you are, you know, elected, Sergey, if you, how to make it proper, with a proper grammar, if you would be elected,
If you were.
If you were elected as a pope, would you consider it like a blessing or a curse?
From a previous pope.
No, just from yourself. You know, you were elected like a pope. What do you think? Is it a something? Is it a good job or bad job? Is it a blessing or not?
It's a difficult question because when you live, for example, it's not for me. For example, if you don't money and if you have a simple job, you dreamed about head of department, about head of plant, about head of country, about head of church. When you became as a pope, as a director, you started to understand a lot of tasks for you, and you don't have free time. You after that, after election, you don't own yourself,
your own life.
you own for everybody, because
You're owned
you're a
by
symbol.
everybody.
You're a symbol, and you understand that 1.5 billion people around the world believe for you and wait for you and watched you.
Watch
And
you.
I forgot the word ответственность. Responsibility. It's a big responsibility. It's very, very difficult, and I think that it's a blessing, and it's not simple. It's a very, very difficult.
Okay, good point.
I agree.
Leila, please.
I was going to ask a question. The Pope should be a man.
Has to be a man, yes.
Okay.
It's a modern question.
Leila, let's wait a bit. My guess it's like 15 or 20 years, and it will be changed.
Okay, I will watch the world over the clouds.
There was a woman pope in the past. There are rumors.
Really?
Yeah, in the, I don't know, 15th, 16th century.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. When we have the women as a pope, how we should name her? Mom or mother? I don't know.
Mama.
Thanks, Sergey. Thank you.
we have time to figure it out, you know. So
no, it was such an innocent question.
Mother Teresa.
Yeah, I love her.
Mom.
But she was a neighbor of yours, right? She was Albanian. And you're Turkish, aren't you?
I'm Turkish. But I love Mother Teresa because of her philosophy and the way of thinking, I think. Her way of thinking.
Okay, Leila, so the same question to you, you know. So what do you think? Be in charge of some, you know, some institute, like a church, like a Catholic church or something. Is it a blessing?
The Church of Scientology.
A church of Scientology, or I don't know, Muslim branch of something, or something else, you know, a huge organization with many problems, with many people involved, with dark history as always. All this institute has dark history. So what do you think? Is it a blessing to be in charge, to be the guy?
It depends on your personality, because if you are brave and strong enough to do some things for good people, if you can change the world for good, if you can do some things for the hungry people, for poor people, okay, go ahead, do some things. If you are not going to be affected by the Vatican Bank, okay, go ahead. But if you have a weak personality, it is a curse, because you will pay for it.
You will suffer, right?
Sure.
Okay. Masans?
I'm waiting, Ivan. You got my message, right?
No.
Yes.
Vasant, please.
In my opinion, it's mostly a curse because if you are a president of any country, you will have some person to talk about, and they will they will keep you busy in all directions, and you may have at least enjoy the company. But being a pope is really a curse because very few people will be around with you, and all the thing you can talk about is religious stuff, and you will see the pope, you will see the bishops and cardinals and some what's the lady, what's the name of those ladies in the church? Nuns, yeah, the nuns. And you have to stand still. If you are attending a ceremony, you have to be on the stage, and everybody will look at you. You are the point of attraction, and you have to stay still until the show is over, and you have to give your hand, and everybody will kiss you. You have to keep your hand like that for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's really a curse.
Have you seen the foot? Sorry, go ahead.
So you are involved in many rituals. You don't belong yourself anymore, right? You belong to a protocol.
Yeah, just like a statue. Just like you have to be there.
Terry, please.
But they have a lot of privacy too, the popes. They're not like other celebrities that have their lives open to paparazzi. I mean, the Pope could have prostitutes in his chambers every night, drinking, taking drugs. No one would know because he's enclosed and protected.
And close.
Yes, and even when you reveal this, people will say, don't say this because
blasphemy.
It's a sacred man. What he's doing. He knows it's a way of something. Yeah. So
Ivan, here they say he's a sacred man. Whatever he does, it is true.
Yep. I have heard this. Yeah.
Papal infallibility. The Pope cannot be wrong.
It's hard job, right?
It was. They got together, the cardinals, and decided on this papal infallibility, like a new law, where the Pope cannot be wrong.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think that is called dogma.
Yeah, dogma.
Yeah. Okay, another question. Let's move forward. Does the nationality, I forgot.
Nationality, good.
Nationality. Does the nationality of the Pope matter to the rest of the world? What do you think?
Big time.
So if you ever got a Russian Catholic Pope, would you happy?
I would be scratching my head.
But we have Catholic Church. It's small, only 5 people, but still we have. No, I'm not joking. It's true.
Yes, we have some Catholics in Russia, but it's a very small group because we have the road. I don't know, speak English. The Russian church.
Yeah, the Orthodox, Russian Orthodox Church.
Russian Orthodox Church. But if the Russian people would ask a pope, it's good for Russia. And
how?
Well, it would unite us.
Russian Catholics. It's good for Russian Catholics, and it would be good for popularization Catholicism ideas in Russia. But I am not religion supporter.
Religious.
I'm atheist and
atheist.
Atheist.
I'm an atheist.
And I think that's for me. It's not important.
It's not something to proud about, right?
To be proud.
To be proud. Not something to brag about.
Good to brag about.
Yeah. Okay.
But on the other side, it could bring a lot of people together because Catholics have a shared, like the Islamic world, the Muslim world, they have a shared religion.
Mm-hmm.
Leila, are you, as a Turkish person, do you feel an affinity to other Muslim countries like Morocco and Egypt?
To tell you the truth, I'm the kind of person who never discriminates between people, and I feel respect for good people. Race, religion, nationality, no problem.
And what about
But
most Turkish people? Would they support?
50-50.
Okay.
50-50. Gerard and Iwan and Wasan know that very well. Um, we are a secular country.
I know that.
50%. Right. But a lot of people in this world are using religion as a means of achieving their goals. So this is
know.
what I'm against.
Exactly.
Yeah, religion is a man-made construct.
Yeah.
Yep. Sans, what do you think? Is it nationality is important for the rest of the world? So if we got an Indian Pope, will it mean something to you?
Maybe
Would it?
because yeah, as an Indian, I would brag about having a pope from my country, because we were all watching the television when the pope, the election of
Was
pope,
elected.
yeah, selected. We knew that we had a very tiny chances, very little chances to have an Indian pope, because he has no chance to win that election. But we still hoped, what if he wins the election, and
So
we
there
don't even
was
know
an Indian candidate.
cardinal.
A
Yes,
cardinal,
there was
okay.
a candidate. Yeah, cardinal.
I remember there
And-
was a lot of talk about the first African pope, the first black pope. Do you remember that, Gerard?
Yes. It was possible.
But we don't know we don't even know the consequences. What if it would be like if he becomes a pope and he would do anything to our country? We know nothing, but we still wanted someone from our side. I don't know. It's a basic instinct.
Yeah, it is.
Nationalism. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, the last one. Let's answer this. Is that necessary to have an icon like Pope for a religion that seeks spirituality? What do you think? Do you need a person in charge, for any religion?
Not in my opinion.
Does
No.
it help something? No? Sure.
No, religion, spirituality is a personal thing between you and whatever higher power. So I don't think.
Yes, please.
Ivan, can I ask you something?
Please.
If you were chosen as a pope, what would you do?
What would I do? I would enjoy pizza in Rome and some wine, and I would, and as a what's his name? As a
You would
Francis,
get gout.
as a Francis, I would start my tournée, my trip over the world. I say I want to see everything by my own eyes. I want to help every village
With my own eyes.
With my own eyes. So let's start this trip.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just wondering.
So if you think that I'm a sacred man or something, and if I would do something for good, no, it's not me.
We will see.
Okay, but usually, in general, in every, institute structures built by human, we have a guy in charge, right? It looks like our nature. So this Pope looks like something important for us. We need to, what the word says, impersonate power in a human. Agree? Disagree?
Yeah, we need to emulate, to look up to a person, yes. It's difficult to emulate the Pope, right? Around in a dress all the time, be celibate.
Sans, please?
Yes, we are all a social animal. Even though we tend to act like a mob, we need someone to guide. Even though it's a good decision or a bad decision, someone has to be at the top to guide the rest of the crew, because it's really hard to guide a bunch of people. If it's just 100 people, that's okay. But when it comes to thousands and thousands of people, then it's really hard to accumulate them and guide them in a particular way. So at least they need a person. But when it comes to spirituality, there is no need for a person.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to share the screen for slides, as always. Okay. Tell me if you can see it. Can you see this? Vasant, tell us, what is it's a Gothic font, right?
Yes,
something.
I looked for calligraphy because we can see a lot of calligraphies in Greek culture,
Yeah.
and just I added the two pictures of the hat.
Do you know the name for this font, or I mean for this technique when you make characters with a pen, special pen?
Calligraphy.
Calligraphy, yes. But this exact like technique is a copper plate, I guess. Gothic copper plate. Terry, do you know this?
Well, no, I don't know the name of every font. No,
No,
I don't think anyone does.
No, it's not a font. It's a technique when you have a
Technique.
when you have a like a tool, you know, with two sticks, something. It's a
Like pliers.
It's like what feather, right? It's a feather from the bird, and you make a small
Incision.
incision in it, yeah, and then you draw, right? With
Oh, okay. So it's an ancient technique.
yeah. So when you press, you have a thick line, right? When you don't press a lot, don't make a lot of efforts, you have a
thin line.
thin line. Yes, it's called copper plate.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Nib or nib? Nib is the top of a pen.
Nib. Okay.
I haven't heard that word in years.
Okay, but we learn something new. Okay, let's start from this one. What sounds? Could you please?
This is Pope Francis giving his ceremony in somewhere in Spain or something. Where is that place?
Looks like South America.
Okay, South America. And
Chileno. I can read
giving-
it on the wall. Chileno.
Yeah.
okay, is that Chile? Okay. Then in open place, he is giving his ceremony, and everybody is interested in his speech. You can see the microphone with a stand and an amplifier. What is that? I
A
don't know.
PA. It's called a PA, public address system.
Oh,
Or public announcement. Is it public address? I'm not sure. A PA.
yeah, okay. And you can see people are listening to him. I like the culture with the paintings on the wall. Mostly, I can see that from the South American culture.
If he's in Chile, Pinochet would have been the dictator at that time.
Yeah.
I wondered if he said anything against the dictatorship of Pinochet.
Probably he couldn't, right?
Yeah. It's a free world. Guess he could have.
No, it's free world. Only only in special places, not everywhere.
In Cuba.
In Cuba, yeah. Mostly.
What is that piece of cloth? The green color. We call it as a robe as a whole, but I don't know the.
Yeah, the
particular-
robes are the clothes. They are the vestments.
Excellent. Good. Okay.
Know the exact name of that sash.
Stole.
Stoll.
Yeah, like in Spanish. I know the Spanish word is quite similar. These bands.
Yeah. Vestments are the priest's
Okay.
clothes.
Robe, vestments, I think it's enough, for a secular country.
Yeah, for people like us, for lay people. LAY is the you're a priest or you're lay. You're not
Oh,
priest.
okay. So at the right side we have how we call this painting icon, draw with a saint.
It's
Someone.
just a statue. Virgin Mary.
Yeah, but in general, how we call this drawing? Icon?
It's not a drawing, is it? It's
Painting.
a statue.
No.
It's
On
a
the right
painting.
side. On the right side, it's a painting.
Yeah, the painting with flowers in the frame.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it.
Okay.
It must be because the camera's. Yeah, all right. But there is a statue behind the Pope that I can see.
Okay, but it's small. Very small.
I know in Russian Orthodoxy icons are very important, but not in Catholicism.
Okay.
That's just a Chilean, probably a Chilean thing.
Okay. What do you think the
Portrait.
device is? The device on the left side looks like an old broken TV or something.
That's the PA system, the sound system.
PSS. Okay, sounds okay. Okay, anything else? Any questions, guys? Okay, let's go forward.
I think this painting is a watercolor painting.
Watercolor, yeah, that's it. It's not a portrait. A portrait is of a real person. I don't know if the Virgin Mary was a real person or not.
Let's say she was. Okay, Gerard, please.
I
What
think
is
it must
happening?
be the death of John Paul II, but these
Yeah.
images are real. I think they look real.
They look real.
In 2005. So he was very old. He was ill, and Benedict XVI claimed that he was very ill, but actually he is still alive after 8 years. He must be 1993, something like that.
Okay. So tell us about this uniform.
The Swedish guards.
Swedish.
Swedish.
Swiss. No, the Swiss guard.
Swiss guard.
Swiss guard.
Yeah, they remind me of the beef eaters outside Buckingham Palace. More pomp and ceremony is the perfect expression. Pomp, P-O-M-P, and ceremony.
Okay, so we see the columns, and probably it's inside Vatican, right? And I can see the old-fashioned camera. Can't believe that it was
So heavy.
so heavy, yeah. With a camera and a prop, right? He's staying on the stick. Camera, how we call it? This holder for camera. Can you see this white thing?
Tripod.
Tripod.
Okay, tripod. And the weapon of this Swiss guards is
Spear.
Or
the
a pike, even.
Even like a small hammer, it looks to me. Okay.
The long spears came from fish, like a pike. They made them from fish.
Yeah, good. Okay, no questions? Go forward. Sergey, please. What is this?
The Vatican
This
Council.
election. This is the election of new pope. It's a special room for election, maybe, with a beautiful painting, with the candles, with the
Candles.
Christ candles, with the Christ of the crossroad, the cross
On the cross.
the
Or
cross,
crucifix.
and 3 stylish tables with the red, with the red
Curtains.
curtains, yeah. And surprising for me, one cardinal has a purple dress. What?
Robes.
Maybe it's a judge of election, maybe
Or administrator.
administrator. Yeah. And special 2 devices for election: special plate and special tube for wires.
Like the
Yes.
lottery.
Yeah, let's try to find different adjective other than special. Because you describe everything like special.
Special. Unusual.
Particular.
Okay.
Odd.
It's Terry should know, like a teacher of English. People tend to describe everything like good or bad, right? So only 2 adjectives. So when they are beginners in the language, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. That's enough.
Not. I have used beautiful.
Okay.
He did use beautiful, yes. True. And it is a beautiful painting.
Yeah.
Luxurious, I would use for
Great.
Made by Michelangelo, I guess. No, it's just speculation.
I'm not sure, but maybe. I'm not
possibly.
sure.
The same style, right?
Yeah.
It looks
Okay.
luxurious. Everything looks expensive and old.
But I can feel traditions, in
Yeah,
that.
you can
So
feel it.
Yeah, because it's old-fashioned, and I don't know. I can feel rituals there. Yes, please. See?
What is the name of
Hats. Yeah.
hats?
Yeah. Yarmolka. I'm joking. No, I don't know.
It looks like head of
Jews
Yes.
people.
Jews.
There are names for the hats. There's a name for the big cardinal hat too. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm an atheist.
Yeah, I'm an atheist.
There are two doors, like with a white ornament, and on the top of this, it's a strange symbol. I will guess it looks like a bones and skull to me.
Skull and bones, they're everywhere. Why the hell would there be skull and bones in the Vatican? It's a pirate symbol.
Not only pirate, on Russian icons, you know, this drawing, when we have a crucifixion, there is always a skull around the legs of Jesus. And I asked once why, and they say it's from Biblia, from
The Bible.
From Bible,
The Bible.
The Bible, from the Bible, and it means something. So because
Yeah, don't ask any more questions. It just is, right? That's what I heard when I asked questions about religion.
Well, now it's more mild. Now you can ask, you know, something. They don't answer, but you can ask. Okay, this one, Vasant. Oh, Leila, would you like
It's
to
Dick
describe
Cheney.
Vice.
it? I can see Leila. We lost her, right? Leila, are you here?
No, I don't see her.
Okay,
She left
Vasant,
She
please.
left.
Vasant,
Left.
please describe this one.
Yes, this is where he was on the way to meet the Pope, and the driver said that the Pope prefers to see his cardinals dressed like cardinals, so he had to stop by. Then he had to change his clothes. It looks like a motel.
It looks like a cafe to me.
Looks
A
like
food truck. A food
Yeah,
truck.
yeah.
Okay,
A street vendor.
street vendor. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know
Yes.
this place behind on the hill, Gerard? You know what is this?
This castle, Montoglio, I don't know.
Okay.
The castle where the Pope lived, the summer residence.
Summer residence. Okay.
A nice life, huh?
You have to work hard to get it.
Well, you have to study hard. It's a good free education.
Okay. So what is panini? Who knows? It's written
Bread,
on the
Italian bread.
Italian bread, right? So it's probably how we say it? It's not a posh place, right? It's a common place, average, casual.
For working class people.
Yeah. What does mean casual? Is it can you
Casual,
describe
casual is the opposite to formal.
to formal? Okay.
Yeah, so
So
casual,
can I say that this one is a casual place? No.
maybe. A casual bar would be a more sophisticated bar. That's just a food truck, as Jared said. A vendor. Anyone can buy food there.
Well, I'm asking because, you know, Google Maps always ask me, after I visited some bar, Google Maps asked me, was it a casual place? And I never know. Was it
Yeah,
a
well,
casual place?
that is extremely casual. Casual means can you wear a tracksuit into the restaurant? Some restaurants require a suit and tie, right?
Yes.
So that's what they're talking about.
So those who require the formal, right? And opposite is casual. Okay, now I got it. So in a casual restaurant, I can go with my, I don't know, with my dog.
Well, not your dog, your kids and a tracksuit and runner and trainers.
Okay.
Got to do with the dress code.
Okay, Gerard, please, this one.
So here, the residence, summer residence of the Pope. The name is the Palace of Castel Gandolfo. The one. So here we can see the Cardinal Bergoglio with the Pope Benedictus XVI informally talking in this garden, beautiful garden.
Oh, wow. What a garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's name something. So we have some boxes with plants. How we call these boxes? No. I mean this wood. Like
I know. I'm trying to think.
we have a name in Russian, but it doesn't help you.
Each individual pot is a flower pot. That's probably like a flower bed. That's
Flower
what it's
bed.
called, a flower bed.
Okay, nice. Okay, and this thing on the top, it's like not a wall, it's like aqueduct. I don't know how to call it, like a catwalk. What is this?
The columns.
The columns hold this horizontal things, right?
Beams.
Beams, yeah, that's what they are, beams.
Beams.
The water is a fountain, anyway.
Okay, what is a fountain? And we can see that on the right side, very old, like stone building, right? Some gates or something.
An arch.
Arch.
Oh, yeah, an arch. Okay, let's go to the next one. It's a good one. Sergey, do you remember this episode?
The scene.
Scene. This is
Not.
scene. This this future Pope. He's for the first night in this building, and he just got his dinner. Do you remember?
Not, I don't remember this.
Okay, let me describe this. This was a funny scene to me. So this nun, she brings the dinner and say, our Pope, he's always eat alone. But
Yes, I remember, and he have the similar dinner as a Pope.
Yeah, exactly like his mother used to make it. Yeah, and it was something, not very pleasant to see, I would say.
It didn't look too good.
It didn't look too good, yeah. So and they had like very funny eye contact. They looked at each other and then smiling. Yeah, so it was a funny scene. Would you like to describe something more, Sergey?
Yeah, it's a room as a canteen, as a dinner room.
Dining room.
Dining room for guests of Pope, maybe. I don't know, correct or not. It's a big oval table with a lot of chairs, and big windows, good light,
Chandelier.
chandelier. Yeah, and one bottle of wine, one bottle of water, 2 glasses, and potatoes and flowers. Yeah, it's 2 paints I saw in the window, in the opposite
Paintings.
paintings on the opposite wall.
It's a mirror, right? Probably.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we can see Rome from this balcony, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
I like these 2 golden chairs, soft chairs, maybe not that soft, but golden on the left and right side. It's
And
yeah.
2 golden angels near with golden chairs.
Yeah. These chairs, it reminds me all these Russian castles, of Tsar, because you have no chances to see this design anymore, only in such historical places. Okay, any questions? Let's go. I don't remember the scene. Vasans, what is this?
What was going on? What was going on here?
Yeah, what is going on?
This is where Pope Francis giving his resignation letter to the Pope, and he refuses to not now. Then they're having some conversation in that room. So this is the room where Pope take rest after the dinner. It's a quite good place, and this is where he was watching the football match, and he tried to turn off the television when the Pope arrived. You can see a lot of things here. table lamp, and a table clock, a lot of books, just coffee cups,
A jug of water, iced water
jug of water. Okay.
on a
Okay.
tray.
On a tray. And what is the name of? Okay, saucer, is it right? Cup and saucer.
Cup and saucer. But that's
Okay.
where is the cup and saucer? Oh, yes, I see them.
It's
For espresso.
mhm.
There's a statue of the Virgin Mary and baby Jesus.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I would say this drawing on the wall looks a bit strange to me. Not familiar with this type. It looks like, I don't know, more like Egyptian something than Catholic.
The red,
Yeah, red, and on the sides it's something strange.
yes, they're religious symbols.
Yeah, but I did not familiar with them.
Not familiar.
I'm not familiar. Yeah. Okay, let me see what we have else. From a few. We almost run out of time, so I'm going to find one. Something new. Oh, do you remember this episode, Gerard? One of almost the last one. And Gerard, you're muted.
Okay. So the two popes at the end of the movie were watching the final of the World Tournament, soccer, football for
The World Cup.
World Cup. Argentina against Germany.
Yeah, exactly.
Germany won 1-0. I don't know,
1-0.
And Argentinians are very enthusiastic, passionate about football, and Benedictus wasn't actually.
It was a nice episode, I would say.
Scene.
It was a nice scene, yeah. They were both enthusiastic and they drink some beer or something. It was a funny conversation. So it's interesting.
And I see one of them is wearing the Argentinian scarf, football scarf.
Bergoglio.
He was a fan, yeah, of this team.
I'm not surprised. The populist Pope, populist game.
So, but another one was conservative and still, care for football.
He had more important things to worry about, like protecting pedophiles.
Yeah, I can see that you are not going to forgive him, right?
But I thought Irish people were very Catholic, proud of being Catholic.
No. We think the same thing about Spanish people and Italians.
But I think of that because that's the main difference with the British people.
Yeah.
The religion is your main difference.
I guess so. Well, we have cultural and musical differences, but no, I can't. The church destroyed itself in Ireland because of the amount of cases, pedophile cases. I sent a link to the Magdalene Sisters, which is a movie, very good movie about the situation in Ireland with the nuns.
Okay. I already guess what is this. I already can guess. Okay, guys, thank you very much. It was fun, and I liked the movie and conversation. And see you next week. Yep.
What's next week's movie?
Not chosen yet, so you can.
Hasn't been chosen yet. Oh well, there's. Unless you don't want to talk more about the Catholic Church.
Let's change for something. I think we lost all our words about Catholics. We used all of them on this session.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you in the chat. We can all suggest something.
Okay.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Have a nice night. Bye.